A deep dive into the most terrifying footage yet. The internet erupted today as a hidden camera allegedly placed inside Yu Menglong's hospital room leaked onto multiple encrypted channels. Fans who managed to view the footage before it was instantly scrubbed described the same thing, almost in unison, like a chorus rehearsed by fear itself: the shadow is back. For weeks, the world has been piecing together fragments of Yu Menglong's final days, the deleted recordings, the doctor's confessions, the manager's arrest, the missing timestamps, the hospital corridor whispers, the strange sound behind the curtain, the nurse who cried during questioning, the forensic contradictions written in disappearing ink. And now, this. A hidden camera, never mentioned in any official report, never admitted by staff, never referenced by investigators, has leaked a file titled only, Room 709, Midnight. And what's inside that video has already carved itself into the global conversation like a blade made of questions. It begins quietly, too quietly. The screen flickers, then stabilizes into a washed-out, bluish image of Yu Menglong's hospital room. At first glance, nothing looks unusual. The soft hum of the monitors, the dim light filtering through the blinds, the slow rise and fall of air machines that echo with an almost human breath. But if the world has learned anything about Yu Menglong's story, it's that the truth never stays at the surface. It hides. It waits. It returns. And in this footage, it returns with a vengeance. Around the 11-minute mark, something changes, subtly, like the shift of a thought you cannot name. The shadows near the doorway begin to grow, not darker, but more defined, as though someone is stepping into the frame without taking a single step. Fans who watch the video say the silhouette doesn't move normally. It slides, slowly, like smoke remembering how to walk. At first, it's easy to dismiss it as a trick of the failing camera. But then something impossible happens. The shadow stops at the foot of Yu Menglong's bed. Not in the corner. Not near the cabinet. Directly at the foot of the bed, where the official records insist no one entered during those hours. Upon closer inspection, viewers noticed something even more unsettling. The shadow wasn't just a blur. It had a shape. A tilt of the head. A posture of someone staring. Someone waiting. Someone standing too still to be human. And yet, at the same time, too intentional not to be. The figure leans slightly forward, almost as if whispering something that the camera cannot catch, but the silence itself reacts to. Because right at that moment, the heart monitor beside the bed flickers, not with irregular beats, but with static. As though something was interfering with the very electricity of the room. The audio, though faint, carries a low-frequency hum. The kind of sound that rattles something inside you even if you can't hear it clearly. A hum that makes your pulse tremble. A hum that feels like a warning. Then, as suddenly as it appeared, the shadow steps backward without moving its legs. It simply retracts, folding into the corner like melting ink. When the camera focuses again, nothing is there. The shadow is gone. The silence returns. The machine's calm. The room becomes ordinary again, painfully, eerily ordinary. But the leak didn't end there. Because at the 15-minute mark, the shadow comes back. But this time, it's not alone. From the right of the frame, near the cabinet where nurses stored sealed packages, another shape emerges, thinner, smaller, more hesitant, as though unsure whether it should exist at all. It stands beside the first shadow, forming a pair of silhouettes that tilt toward each other like conspirators speaking in a language made of fog. At the exact moment both figures appear, the camera loses focus, not drifting, but fighting. As if something in the room doesn't want to be seen. When it regains clarity, the shadows are closer. Closer. And closer still. Until one of them is inches from the lens, staring directly into it. Experts who reviewed the leak claim there is a pair of faint, glowing outlines where eyes should be, not bright, but reflective, like dim moonlight bouncing off water. The kind of gaze that doesn't look through you. It looks into you. For 17 seconds, the shadow stares straight into the hidden camera, motionless, expressionless, emotionless. But viewers swear they felt something, a tension, a pull, a whisper behind the bones. A presence. Then the screen cuts to black. Not a fade. Not a glitch. A clean, intentional cut. And that's where the footage ends. Within minutes of its leak, every mirror upload disappeared. Accounts that shared screenshots were suspended instantly. Users report receiving emails saying their posts violated ongoing investigation protocols. Some even report that their cloud storage accounts were accessed by unknown devices shortly after they attempted to download the file. But it was too late. The world had seen enough. The shadow figure, long rumored in whispers of hallway photos, corridor reflections, and unexplained silhouettes from earlier leaks, is not just a rumor anymore. It is back. And this time, it's clearer, closer, and undeniably connected to Yu Menglong's final hours. What's even more shocking is what investigators refused to comment on. The shadow in this video appears to be the same one spotted in the earlier leaked corridor footage, the one walking behind the doctor at 2:14 a.m., the one that never matched any staff member description or visitor log, the one fan circled in red with shaking hands. If this is true, it means one thing. The same figure was present both inside and outside Yu Menglong's room. Moving freely. Unseen. Unrecorded by official devices, yet captured by this hidden camera that was never meant to exist. Speculation has exploded. Who placed this camera? Why was it hidden? Why did it leak now, after weeks of silence and suppression? And most importantly, what, or who, is the shadow figure? Some believe it's the unknown person mentioned by the doctor's trembling assistant during questioning. Others think it's the same silhouette seen in the reflection of the glass door the night Yu Menglong was admitted. A few, diving deep into the conspiracy threads, point out that the shadow moves exactly the same way in each sighting, smoothly, silently, and with intention, almost as if it is following a script. The most chilling theory comes from users who enhance the audio from the footage. They claim that when the shadow leaned toward the camera, a faint whisper echoed. He wasn't alone. If this detail is real, if this whisper truly exists, if these shapes are more than shifting darkness, then the truth behind Yu Menglong's final days is far more complicated, and far more terrifying, than any previous leak suggested. Because shadows don't return unless they were there before. Shadows don't whisper unless they learned from someone who did. And shadows don't watch over a room unless they are guarding a moment that the world was never meant to see. As investigators scramble, as fans speculate, as the world waits for the next leak, one truth is echoing louder than ever across every corner of the internet. The shadow figure is back, and this time, it wants to be seen. The world thought it had already seen the most terrifying parts of Yu Menglong's story, the corridor silhouettes, the altered medical files, the doctor's trembling confessions, the missing timestamps. But the hidden camera leak was only the beginning. Because hours after the first footage vanished from the internet, a second clip surfaced. Shorter, clearer, and 10 times more disturbing. This second clip didn't appear on the same encrypted channels as the first. It didn't pass through the usual rumor pipelines. Instead, it appeared silently, uploaded by an unknown account that existed for exactly 8 minutes before disappearing forever. In that time, only 37 people saw it, and 3 of them managed to describe what they witnessed before their accounts were locked. What they described is already being called the most haunting scene in the entire unfolding mystery. The clip begins where the first one ended, with darkness. But not complete darkness. A faint glow pulses at the bottom of the screen, like the heartbeat of a dying star. Slowly, the camera sharpens, revealing the edge of Yu Menglong's bed, the soft outline of his blanket, and the motionless stillness of the night. This time, however, the audio is different, no hum, no static, no mechanical rhythm of hospital machines. Instead, there's a soft, irregular tapping. Like fingernails on metal. Slow. Measured. Intentional. The tapping grows louder, and then the lights flicker, once, twice, then hold steady in a dim, ghost-like glow. That's when the first shadow appears again. But this time, it doesn't simply materialize from the corner. It emerges with authority, like something stepping through an unseen doorway, one that doesn't exist in the physical world. The figure is clearer now, tall, thin, with a posture that suggests a weightless presence. It moves with such unnatural fluidity that it looks less like a person and more like a memory replaying itself against reality. And this time, Yu Menglong reacts. His fingers twitch. Not a random spasm, a deliberate movement, like someone trying to reach for a sound, a light, a person they recognize but cannot name. The shadow pauses, as if noticing the movement. Then it glides closer. At 6 seconds into the clip, the figure stands right beside the bed. Its outline wavers, not like smoke this time, but like something caught between this world and another. Viewers swear they saw a shape within it, the faintest impression of a face, blurred but present, staring down at him. Then something happens that investigators have already labeled impossible. Yu Menglong's eyelids lift. Not fully, just enough to reveal the gleam of awareness, fear, or recognition. It lasts less than a second. But every person who saw the clip insists the same thing. He looked directly at the shadow. And the shadow leaned closer, as though responding. The camera crackles, the lights flicker again, and for a moment, the screen warps. When it stabilizes, there is a second shadow in the room. But this one isn't shaped like a human. It's shorter, with jagged edges, almost as if flickering between forms. One viewer described it as a broken silhouette trying to put itself together. The two shadows face each other. No movement. No sound. Just a stillness so thick it feels like it could suffocate the air itself. Suddenly, the smaller shadow lifts its arm, or something like an arm, and points toward the camera. Not toward the bed. Not toward the door. Directly at the hidden device capturing the footage. As if it knew it was being watched. As if it wanted the viewer to know it knew. At that moment, the tapping stops. Everything stops. Even the faint movement of the machines freezes, like time holding its breath. Then the taller shadow does something that still sends shivers across online forums. It turns its head, slowly, unnaturally slowly, and looks directly into the lens. Not past it. Not near it. Into it. A faint whisper rides the edge of the audio, so soft it feels like it's being spoken inside the viewer's mind rather than through the speakers. 3 barely audible words. You weren't supposed to. As soon as the whisper ends, the entire room collapses into darkness. But not for long. A flash of white light bursts across the screen, revealing a split-second image so startling that the few viewers who saw it claim they'll never forget it. In that flash, the shadow is not a shadow at all. It looks human. Very human. Its face blurred, but not shapeless. Its eyes reflective, like wet glass. And behind it, there is someone standing. Not the second shadow. Someone else. Someone real. A silhouette with shoulders. Hands. A face turned away from the camera. Too tall to be a nurse. Too broad to be a cleaner. Too still to be a doctor. No hospital records list anyone entering the room during that time. No staff confirm being there. And yet someone clearly was. The flash ends, and the screen returns to black. But just before the video cuts, for a single frame, one frame lasting less than a blink, viewers saw the reflection of the hidden camera itself in the window. Meaning whoever placed it had positioned it carefully, deliberately, and with knowledge of something no one else was meant to witness. The clip ends. The account disappears. And the questions multiply. Was the shadow attracted to Yu Menglong? Protecting him? Watching him? Were the figures part of the same presence seen in earlier leaked footage? And most disturbing of all, who was the real person standing behind them in the final flash? One thing is certain. This was no coincidence. No glitch. No camera trick. The shadow has returned. And this time, it brought someone with it.